Welcome to the Wholesome Healing Collective.
Join us on our podcast for a journey into the hearts of healers from all walks of life, diving deep as we explore meaningful conversations that have the power to inspire, empower, and share life-changing wisdom.
Through this community, we hope to create a welcoming environment where our listeners leave feeling nurtured and uplifted. We are so delighted you are here. My name is Alyssa.
And I'm Renee. Grab a drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Wholesome Healing Collective podcast. Alyssa and I are here, and today we wanted to talk about a little bit of an update on the 20-day cacao challenge that we're doing with the Mayan Wisdom community, and talk about plant allyship and a little sneak peek on something that's coming out into the universe soon.
Yes. Last week, I had asked you what your Mayan energy was, and you didn't quite know yet. But since our last episode, we have both gotten to hear our energies. So we briefly talked last week how the Mayan calendar is 20 days, and this is called the Chulki calendar. So it's 20 days. Each day is represented by a chunil, and we're going to talk today about ours. But essentially every energy represents an aspect of our reality. And it also has a nual, which is an element or an animal or some other kind of representation of that energy. And so my energy is Pu. And essentially it is like a warrior and the sunlight. And so mixed together, I really loved how that made me feel like the warrior of the light. And looking at the work that I do, I really could see how that is coming into reality. And I felt really blessed. It's also a representation of the tools that the humans use, as well as the human itself. And I thought that was fascinating because I love tools. If you've ever been in my space, I just have a tool for like about everything. I'm obsessed with crystals. I've got sound bowls, burn incense, if that's a tool. So it's like, it's really funny how aligned it is. And what about your energy?
Yes. I also felt like it was very insightful, and pretty much everything that was shared about the energy was pretty well spot on. So my energy was, or the name is, and I hope I say this semi right, Akabal. And the Namal that was represented is a bat, which I was surprised about. But the bat is representative of both the light and the dark, and the duality of that. They live in darkness in the cave, and then they don't really come out into the light per se because they're, nocturnal, but there is that, they were talking about in the tradition, they view caves as like a portal from one reality to another, one, from darkness to light. And the duality of the first rays of light in the darkness. And they mentioned the different manifestations of light and this middle point of between the light and the dark. And one thing that really resonated was she was saying how people with this energy are often most fulfilled in work where you're working with both the past and the future. And that felt really aligned because of the coaching work that we do and working with tools like breathwork, where you're often unearthing things from the past, but you're integrating them or liberating your body from them so that you can move into your higher self as you move forward into the future. So that felt really, really cool. And I feel like in the last year, I've really been embracing the concept and the teachings around duality in our lives in general, um and allowing all the feelings, the full spectrum of feelings to be present instead of resisting certain ones that we deem as bad, or resist what is there that we don't want to feel and only feel the good. So that was really neat, that felt like a piece of my energy that I'm starting to embrace, that I have already been starting to embrace, but got to learn about it. So it just kind of all made sense. That feels complete. There was a lot
Yeah.
though. That was really, it's so interesting to learn about that, and then to feel it in the day just makes it feel so real. And being able to learn from these teachings is like touching on wisdom that is so, it's like semi beyond our comprehension, you know?
Mm.
And it's just so neat to be able to learn from them, because it's been passed down and passed down and passed down, and not necessarily, um, I don't feel like I could just go learn this from a book. I'm sure that it is in a book somewhere, but it's just different when you're hearing it with stories and
Yeah.
real experience. So cool.
Mm. I've been really enjoying this challenge. I almost don't want it to end, but it's like an hour every day where I'm like listening and I'm like having a hard time fitting it in. So a little happy that it's about to end, but like that knowledge and that communion has been so beautiful. One thing she said, I think on the first day, that if you drink cacao for like 30 days straight, you won't be depressed anymore. I don't know the whole story, but it was like that's how powerful cacao is, that it can completely change your energetic state, your reality, your emotions, and help you like feel through all of that. And I was like, wow. So looking back at the beginning of the challenge to now, how do you feel, just like your outlook on life?
Mm. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I hadn't really thought about it. But if I kind of zoom out and look at all of the, um, I feel like avenues of support that have come into my reality as of the last couple months, it feels very, um, like divinely orchestrated that this challenge came when it did. Being that cacao as a plant ally is one that invites heart opening, and it has way more benefits, but that's a big one that is talked about a lot, and really resonates with me. And so I really feel like, because I've been focusing on that and feeling the temptation with certain things in my life to shut down my heart, or to kind of ignore that and be in my head, because at times it's easier to not feel right. So we're always in a journey of learning to be with our emotions more. I am, anyways. And so this has been really, really helpful for me as a plant allyship to consume, but also to just take that intention each day, because one thing that they've been inviting us to do is that invocation before you actually drink the cacao, and infusing what you're about to consume with that. And so, every day I'm thanking the energy of Mama Cacao for opening my heart. And I feel like not only the plant allyship, but also my daily intention of just continually coming back to that same intention has been really powerful, because I think even though I feel like I live an intentional life, sometimes my intention changes every single day. So while that is beautiful in and of itself, it's a different kind of powerful when you're intentionally focusing on the same thing every day. So I've been focusing on keeping my heart open, and I really feel like that has happened. So I feel really good.
Mm. Yeah. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. How about you? What do you feel
Mm,
like has been,
yeah.
has there been a constant focus, or do you feel like you're kind of like your invocation might change based on the energy of the day that is being presented?
No, I think so I've really just been taking in the knowledge and not really sure what to do with it. So I'm excited to maybe try again with the challenge and then start like integrating some of the information. So on the calendar, the 20 different energies, not only like are they like our energies for the day we were born, but every day you can bring that into your life as an aspect or a thing of worshiping or service or this or that, depending on what day it is. So I'm excited to try to implement that.
Me too.
But I've been just saying the same invocation. She said it briefly on the first day, and so I tried to take what I could, and I've just been whispering that into my cacao. Thank you to the heart of the sky, to the heart of the earth, thanking the directions and the elements and all of the aspects that create my reality. And I think I've mentioned this before, even the aspects that I don't even know are part of my reality. Thanking
Mm.
those, thanking Mama Cacao, thanking all of those who brought this sacred medicine into my hands, and then just smiling and then blowing and drinking. And it is really heart opening and helps me to like remember I'm just a small speck. um, yeah, I felt like I had something, but it's gone.
That was beautiful. I
Yeah.
need to go back and listen to her invocation from the beginning, because I love that what you just said about thanking all the directions and all the elements. And um as we've been partaking in this kind of daily ritual, it has me really thinking about the different ways to add ceremony and ritual into my life, to make the ordinary sacred and to go deeper with it and to create the pause to appreciate it. And um, I'm really excited to bring those aspects into my offerings and our offerings and retreats. And I feel like the experience people will have will be so special, because it won't be the ordinary. Um, yeah, so I'm really excited about that piece and just continuing to deepen my knowledge so that I can share these teachings in a way that is honoring their traditions.
Yeah. Yeah. It came through and it's directly tied to what you said, so I love it. The transcendental breath work that I did with
Mm,
Tara, we had cacao at the beginning. And so it's been really nice to be communing with cacao, deepening my relationship and understanding of the mind culture before facilitating it in a group setting. Tara obviously has been working with cacao for a long time, but like to be a co-facilitator, it's been nice to be in right relationship with the medicine when I'm serving it to others. Yeah. So it felt really aligned for me too.
yeah, that's awesome. I wish I lived closer so I could be at that breathwork session.
It was so beautiful. I just got the pictures back, and so I can't wait to post some of them. Mm. But we're going to do a monthly. So you're going to have to come out to
Yay.
Montana.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome.
Because you don't have enough travel going on.
I know. I know. I was talking to Chris about that yesterday, because one of my good friends is gonna have a baby in September, and I'm going to Hawaii for a spiritual counseling container. And I also told her that I would go visit her for a week and help her with the baby. And so I'm like, I might be gone for like half the month. Okay, but it's gonna be great.
Mm, wow.
Absence lets the heart grow fonder.
Mm. Was there anything else you wanted to say about plant allyship?
Hmm. I feel pretty complete with cacao at the moment. I feel like it'll probably be an ever evolving conversation because I know both of us want to continue to learn and grow our relationship with cacao. So, yeah, I feel like there'll be more on it in the future, but I feel pretty complete about that. But I love this. I love rolling with this topic of plant allyships because I feel like we've both been learning about plant allyships and kind of feeling the calling from different plant allies. Like both of us obviously are feeling called with cacao, but I know we both have other plants that have kind of popped up in our reality, and you have a journey with microdosing that is blossoming into more. So maybe we could jump into that topic for a minute.
Yeah, so microdosing, psilocybin specifically, you can microdose other psychedelics, but I work specifically with psilocybin. And I've been working with psilocybin for about a year, actually just over a year. And it came into my life much longer than that. This calling I started hearing, and it was a little trendy and a little buzzy, so I did learn about it from like podcasts, and I think that was just a nice way of sharing the sacred medicine. Not everybody is going to be receptive to that call. And then I began researching what it was and how helpful it can be, specifically to depression and anxiety at the time, because I was 1 year sober, but just beginning to uncover my childhood traumas. And we were living in a camper slash motel slash Airbnb at the time. So my life was really in upheaval and I needed support. But I didn't know how to access the medicine. I felt a little lost. I saw there were clinical trials, but I wasn't able to participate. And so I just kind of surrendered for the next several months, until April, I think it was, of last year, when I was like really feeling the call to find the medicine to take it during the eclipse season. And I had reached out to a friend, and I thought we were going to connect, and she never like answered with her resources. And so then I just let it go. And then finally, one of the podcasts I listened to mentioned Access Mundi. And I was like, what is this? What is this name? What is this? And it turned out to be a program where you learn about the medicine and the benefits and how you would microdose. And it was exactly what I needed to begin working with the medicine. And I was so blessed to be given those answers from the universe. And when you put that intention out there that you want to work with something, you want to learn something, the universe will respond, such as this cacao challenge. It's so beautiful. And so I began my journey with microdosing last May. And then in December, I took up intentional microdosing practitioner training to share this medicine with other people. And I wasn't really sure what to do with it then, because I was just graduating from pause coaching. Obviously, I'd already graduated from the breathwork, but I heeded the call again that I know I needed to add this in, but I just didn't know what to do with it. And now I know. So I had originally put out an offer like I can share my wisdom, share a little support, but it felt very like on its own. And then I was like, wait a second, my journey with microdosing has been so beautiful, but it wasn't on its own, because I was going through breath work and I was going through coaching. I had this constant support of both of those containers and both of those modalities as I was doing microdosing. And so the idea came to me of incorporating all three into one deeply supportive container to offer to people, because I can't say breathwork was the thing that made me who I am today. I can't say somatic coaching is the thing that made me who I am today. And I can't say microdosing I can't like single one thing out because I did all three together. And I think that it's just so beautiful to combine all three. And I experienced these quantum leaps in my healing journey and moving into my reality as well. It's like transcending time and space when you're working with the medicine, but then also when you're doing this deep healing of the breath work and the coaching. So it's so crazy, which is where the name Quantum Evolution comes from, my program, because you're evolving, but in the quantum field, that space, that area where there is no time, there is just energy.
Oh, I so feel your heart in that. So, yeah, such good energy around that. And I love that you're incorporating multiple things, because I truly believe that it's almost never one thing. At least not when you want to quantum leap, right? Like one thing on its own will progress you. But when you combine all those things together and you have that support of a container while you're learning and growing and evolving, like, whoo, it's going to be so powerful.
Yes, I'm taking 2 clients through it right now. I'm taking them one-on-one, but the container I'm building is group so that the price is lower, so that it's more accessible. Because we're actually in the program, it's meeting 3 times a week, varied between a medicine call or coaching or breath work or even Reiki. And I even have one virtual ecstatic dance party on there too. So you can just kind of like let that energy flow and tap into your heart space. So 3 times a week is kind of a lot. And a one-on-one container, that can get expensive. So I figured if we did group healing sessions, that it's more accessible.
Yeah. And so how many weeks do you do that?
8 weeks is how long this container is for. Which I think will give you enough time to move through a cycle of using the medicine, as well as allowing the medicine to arrive. So a disclaimer, I do not personally provide the medicine. I do not advocate that people should go out and just purchase illicit, illegal drugs, because it's not legal in all 50 states. It's actually federally illegal. Some states are starting to decriminalize psilocybin. But for me, it's been a deeply personal decision to use this plant medicine, even though it may not be legal. Yeah.
This is probably a rabbit hole we don't want to go down, but it's very interesting, the perspectives on what is considered illegal versus legal. It's crazy to me that a plant can be illegal when they're putting poison on our fruits and vegetables, and there's all kinds of chemicals in the things that we consume without warning that are completely banned in other countries. So while I am always I've always been kind of a rule follower, there are things where I feel like we all have to kind of take a step back and really evaluate not what is deemed right or wrong by these people wherever they sit, but actually what's right or wrong for me, and is consuming a plant going to benefit me. And the answer is different for everyone, but yeah, that invitation to just be curious and not take it at face value, but actually look into it. And there's a lot of information that is surprising because there's such a stigma around it. And then you actually start to get into it and it's like, wait, why is this illegal? This is more beneficial than that alcohol that is deemed legal, but is also said to not be healthy in any level of consumption. But yet this little helpful plant, I can't have it. Anyways, that's a topic for another day. But yeah, inviting in that curiosity.
Mhm. Yes.
with our
And it
plant.
is a deeply personal decision. And many people may hear this and be like, what? And many people may hear this and be like, this is the answer I needed. This is what I've been looking for. And this is just another sign. So I wanted to mention that psilocybin is not a species of mushrooms. It's the chemical compound that grows on top of several species of mushrooms. So I just wanted to mention that. I also wanted to acknowledge that the psilocybin mushrooms or psilocybin containing mushrooms have been growing around the world for many years, many centuries. But the mushrooms that are in the United States were brought here from Mesoamerica, from the Aztec shamans. And so just acknowledging that that is where it came from, and that there have been many people along the way who have continued to bring forth this medicine and the evolution so that we can continue to work with it, to research it, so that we all can evolve.
I'm sure there's so much more depth when you get to dive in to the container and really start to develop that relationship, right? Because it's not just about using the plant, it's about being in communion with the plant, and the plant then wanting to be your ally, right? Like, I think going back to the power of having the combination of the healing modalities in your container, I feel like there's going to be such a relationship that's built with all the healing modalities, but particularly the plant medicine, because I think that one thing that doesn't work is when someone says, I'm going to go take this plant instead of this prescription, but I'm going to use it just like the prescription and pop it down and not even think about it and expect it to heal me. And I don't think it really works like that. I think that we need to have more intention around, and I know that you pray with your plant medicine and infuse that invocation, that intention before you even consume it. And I think that's so important, because it's that intentionality coupled with the intention of the plant that is so healing. And I think I remember hearing this in talking about cacao, but I feel like this applies to all plant allyship, where the medicine that happens is tailored to you and that relationship with the plant ally. It's not the same effect on every person, because it's going to say, oh, you're wanting to heal this, I want to help you with that. And it's going to adapt to you. That intentionality is so important. The plant allyship isn't just popping a pill and going about your daily business as you always have. Like, the intention, coming back to the intention and the relationship.
And the intention for using the medicine may be different for everybody. Last year I was using it to access my truest, most authentic self. And then at the beginning of this year, I changed to being seen, and what's it like to feel confident. And when you switch your intention, and even having an intention, the medicine is going to show you what is holding you back from reaching your intention. And so some things may begin to surface that are uncomfortable. And that's where that breath work and that somatic coaching comes in to help really work through that uncomfortableness. And it's the journey that you are shown is exactly what you need in that moment, like you were saying. But the medicine doesn't do the work for you. You have to do the work.
Yeah. I feel like you just summed that up and said that way better. Good job.
So some other benefits of microdosing is the neuroplasticity that is created in that brain, creating those new neural pathways, which allows for that deep healing and evolution. You can use microdosing to wean off of antidepressants, off of cigarettes, alcohol, excess caffeine, or even excess or unintentional cannabis use. And so it can be beautiful in that way. If that's your intention, that can be your intention. But your intention could also be like deep healing, past traumas or something along those lines. So it really varies from person to person. The medicine can also bring about like expansiveness in your reality, creativity, and things like that. So if you have a history of psychosis or schizophrenia, you may not want an even more expanded reality. So it might not be right for you. Same with breath work. When you're doing those things, microdosing breath work, that really open up your reality, it can be good for people who don't have psychosis or schizophrenia, because we generally have a very narrow view of our reality. We're stuck in that rut or stuck in the hole. But for people with schizophrenia or psychosis, their reality is already wide open. And if you are on antidepressants or feeling some of those things, your journey will look a little different than people who aren't on those substances. And if your antidepressant contains lithium, then we can't combine those two substances. So there's a lot of contraindications. There's a lot of research, and inside the program, I've got that information. I'll also be doing like a live webinar where people can come for free to see if this is a fit. And then at the end, I'm going to break it down into providing the information for the protocol, the dosage, and all of that. And then taking you into the body to find out what your intention is, the protocol, the dosage that's just right for you personally, because everybody's going to be different. And I'm not prescribing that to you. I want you to find that information from within your body. And then at the end of the call, then you can decide, is this something you want to move forward with? And you can purchase the program and get access to the information that you need. And I'll be launching at the end of June. So there will be more information coming out. I cannot believe it's already the end of May and that launch is right around the corner. But I'm really excited to share this information. I truly believe that I'm here to like bridge that gap and bring forth the opportunity for others to work, heal, and evolve with this sacred medicine. It's so funny.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So I feel very intrigued by your webinar coming up, because I want to go in the body and ask what kind of dosage and protocol it would be calling for. Surprisingly, I've never done that. So
I didn't do that with you.
I don't think so.
Oh, were we in the head?
Maybe.
Because that was something I did with my 2 test clients, is like really flesh out what it is that I want to do with this container and the group, and how I want to combine all 3 modalities, and how I want to bring ceremony to it. And just, it's been really fun playing with this energy for the last couple months.
Yeah, I love that. The fun aspect of it is infused in the energy of your container. I can feel it, and that's special.
Yes. And I was really worried about the group container. So my first experience with group healing was traumatic. And so I've been a little worried about how to bring that about. But then after our beautiful women's circle on Sunday, I was reaffirmed that we do need each other to heal. And so while a lot of it will be like muted and just personally happening in your own bubble while you listen to me facilitate and guide, there will be time at the end to be witnessed by everybody if you're interested in being witnessed. And if you're not interested in watching somebody else, you can drop off too. Like, that's totally an option. Like for me in that instance with my first group healing, I should have just not been there. Honestly, that would have been safer for me. And so it's completely up to you. You can be the witness, or you can be witnessed, whatever it is you need in each session. There's that opportunity for personal and collective healing.
And because you're trauma informed, you're taking into account so many aspects that will yield that energy being more safe. And I know that you had mentioned in that first experience you had, there was not trauma informed facilitation happening. And so that led to a group exercise that was very unearthing and not integrative, or there was an integration that happened that led you to the healing. So I just want to note that level of your knowledge is going to create that foundation for the safety. And of course, it's always everyone's personal choice of, what feels right in the moment for participation. But I just want to honor you in that, because that'll be safer right from the get-go.
Yes, thank you. I love that. And all calls will be recorded and uploaded to the, I don't know, module site that I have. So there will be like weekly themes, and then I'll upload the recording. So if you can't make the live call, you can still participate in the replay. I just hope that there are people on the live call, because I need that. I need that, like, I don't know, stimulation for my intuition to kick in.
Yeah. The group energy is powerful.
Yes. Thank you for letting me share this platform to talk about my upcoming program. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you. Anything else you want to share before we wrap it up and go about the day?
No, that feels good.
Yeah. Thanks to all our listeners for listening/watching. Yeah. It's always such a pleasure for us to get to share this little piece of our week with you.
Yes. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.